Hello everybody and welcome back to the Placement Partner Recruitment Academy. My name is Shirley Anderson from Shirley Anderson Sales Consulting and Training, partnering with Placement Partner to bring quality sales skills and support South African recruiters to have conversations that convert prospective clients to actual clients, and of course also support our candidates to make brave decisions to take on amazing, life-changing opportunities. Today we are going to be tackling our content a little bit differently, with me chatting to you on video. As you can see, I am out in the bush, and so you will have to excuse the noise from the frogs and the birds. It's actually amazing how loud it is. Hopefully you will find it a little bit refreshing too. At this point, it may be a good idea to have the image of the buyer's journey in front of you to refer to, as well as a pen and paper. If you need some time, perhaps just press pause at this point to get yourself ready. Right, now that we are ready to go, we will be continuing to unpack the buyer's journey in line with our sales process. As a reminder, the top square is our objective. That is what we want to achieve, what we would like to change for our client depending on where we are in the funnel. For example, to get a name and a number, book a meeting, close a meeting, or generate a referral. Our second row of squares is our buyer's journey. That is the journey that the client is going to need to go through to finally decide on what action they want to take. And hopefully that action lines up with your objective. And below in red, you have your sales conversation process. That is broken down into the different actions we would take in our conversation to move our client psychologically through the buyer's journey. At all times, being aware of where our client is in the process. Now, in previous videos, we started to unpack the first part of the buyer's journey, the awareness stage, and this is where we unpacked how to develop insights to gain our customers' attention. Today, we will continue on the awareness stage, but move on in the assumption that the amazing insights we developed help to reframe our clients' thinking, raised a gap in their mind, and they are now interested in whether we can help them or support them. These insights will only hold for a few moments, and we now need to take a general insight and align more personally with the client so that they can feel emotionally connected to the problem that we are trying to solve for them. They need to be aware of how adopting possible change would actually change their world. To do this, we want to give the client an opportunity to speak and give us their insights, but still stay in control. So how do we do this? We ask questions. Not any kind of questions, open questions. If you refer to the second column of your sales process, you will see 5 W's and an H. This is to remind you that this is your time to ask questions that are open. Open questions cannot be answered by saying yes or no. For example, do you want a high-paying telesales job? Is a closed question, as the candidate could simply answer yes or no, so it's not really helpful. A better question would be an open question, like what kind of job are you looking for? Or what kind of earning potential are you striving for? All recruiters would be comfortable with these types of questions from the interview process, and we're all good at doing this during the interview process, but sometimes we forget the importance of this earlier on in the candidate sourcing phase or with our clients in the prospecting stage. How can questions help you further down the line? Number 1, you may have heard that the person who is asking questions is in control, and that is totally true. Asking questions helps you to guide the conversation towards achieving your objective. In this case, it would be to uncover your potential client's current recruitment gaps, if that's who you are talking to. Number 2, asking questions helps you to ensure that your pitch is built around a solution that is 100% relevant to them. If you are having the same conversation in every call or meeting, you know that you are talking from your own subconscious comforts rather than to your client and candidate's needs. There will be clients or candidates that are similar, but none will be the same. Number 3, asking questions also helps you to avoid objections or concerns later down the line. So many salespeople will ask me, how do I overcome objections? My answer is always the same. Just don't get them. Do not fear uncovering potential objections before you present your solution. You want to build the solution to the objection in your proposal so that it does not come up as an objection in the end of your proposal. Once you must overcome an objection in the end of your proposal, it can be quite tough. Number 4, asking questions gives the potential client or candidate a sense of safety and trust. As humans, we like to be heard. We find comfort in a sense of autonomy, and we like to be listened to. Number 5, last and of course not least, asking questions sometimes uncovers amazing opportunities we may not have even known about at all, giving us a higher sense of negotiation power or the ability to upsell or add value beyond our customers' comprehension. When it comes to asking questions, there are some rules though. Number 1, don't interrupt. Listen to your client, and if anything, repeat or summarize what they had to say. But do not fall into the trap of adding to what they have to say at any point. Your turn will come when you pitch your solution. Number 2, do not try and overcome objections if you hear that they potentially come up. Make a note of it in your mind or in your notepad, and ensure that you build this into your solution in the proposal. Number 3, just ask questions, nothing else. Simply listen. Number 4, write your questions down, because asking open questions is not as easy as everyone thinks. Often we fall into the trap of asking closed questions or forgetting of pertinent questions, especially if your nerves are settling in. Number 5, all open questions start with one of the 5 W's, or the H. That is what, when, where, what, who, and how. But now it's your turn. Download the Asking Questions tool and write down all the questions you need to ask a next potential quality candidate or client. Write at least 1 or 2 questions per W. Example, if I was making a phone call to a new potential client, I may ask, what is your current staff attrition rate? Or, what is the role you typically would recruit for? Or, who is currently responsible for internal recruiting? Or, how is that working for you? Of course, there are plenty more. Jot those down in the tool provided. Example for a quality candidate, you may want to consider a role you are pitching for would be, how long have you been in your current role? What do you enjoy about the current role? Potentially you would ask, what have you learned since you have been in that role? Or, which roles may suit your future career growth? Or, when would you want to achieve that by? All these kinds of questions really arm you with the knowledge you need to sell your proposal later down the line. Align with your customer, and of course, develop that deep sense of awareness that you need for your customer to remain engaged and emotionally invested all along the way of the journey. By the end of this process, you want your client to be almost gagging for a solution. Then you know they have reached the consideration stage and you would be ready to sell the benefits of taking action. But that is for next week. Take some time now to complete the activity, and cheers all. I will see you next week, Thursday.